Okay, let's talk about something that's on pretty much every parent's mind right now. How in the world do we get our kids ready for a future that's being completely rewritten by artificial intelligence? This isn't about scaring anyone. Nope. This is about getting clear, getting prepared, and getting a game plan. Let's dive in. This is really the core truth we have to start with. The world our kids are going to inherit, it won't just be a little bit different, it's going to be fundamentally different. The jobs they'll have, how they communicate, what skills even mean, it's all on the table. The real danger here isn't AI itself, it's being unprepared for the world that AI is creating. And look, I know that can sound a little unsettling, but it's so important to remember that huge, world-altering change, well, it isn't new. Humanity has been through this before. And understanding that history gives us some much-needed perspective. It helps us shift from a place of fear to a place of strategy. Just look at this timeline for a second. We went from hunting to farming, from factories to computers, and then to the internet. And every single one of those shifts replaced a type of work. But this last jump to the AI age, this one's different. It's not about replacing muscles or hands. It's about replacing thinking tasks. And that's exactly why this shift feels so big. And yeah, for a lot of us, a little bit scary. A lot of that fear just comes from misunderstanding. So let's pull back the curtain and demystify what we're actually talking about when we say AI. Because when our kids understand it, they won't fear it. They'll know how to use it. At its core, this is really all AI is. It's a tool that is just ridiculously good at learning and predicting patterns. I mean, think about it. A calculator learned math patterns. A search engine learned information patterns. AI is just learning patterns in language, in images, in data, in behavior. It doesn't think like we do. It predicts what comes next. And that difference is absolutely crucial. And this right here, this illustrates the massive problem we're facing. Our traditional school system still rewards the exact same skills that AI can now do better, faster, and more accurately than any human ever could. So if our kids are only learning how to memorize and repeat, we are basically preparing them for a world that doesn't exist anymore. We're training them to compete head-to-head with machines. So this can't be a fight. You can't outcalculate a calculator, and you for sure cannot outmemorize an AI. The whole goal has to shift. Our mission as parents has to be about cultivating those uniquely human skills, the stuff that AI just can't touch. That's where our kids' real advantage is going to be. So what are those skills? What are we talking about here? Well, we've identified a core set of just five, irreplaceable abilities that are about to become the most valuable currency in the new economy. These are the skills we need to be laser-focused on at home. These are the abilities that make us and our kids irreplaceable. They've always been important, sure, but in the age of AI, they're more critical than ever before. All right, first up, curiosity. An AI can answer any question, but a human is the one who asks why or what if. Second, critical thinking. AI spits out information, but a human decides if it's true, what's important, and what's missing. Third, creativity. AI is great at copying and repeating patterns. Humans, we break them to solve new problems. Fourth, emotional intelligence. AI has zero feelings. Humans are the ones who build trust, inspire teams, and truly connect. And finally, adaptability. The future isn't going to reward perfection. It's going to reward the people who can learn super fast from their mistakes. Okay, so we know the what, those are the skills. Now for the how. How do we actually build these? Well, it requires a pretty fundamental shift in our parenting mindset, moving away from an old model that just isn't going to cut it anymore. This slide shows the change perfectly. The old goal for generations was protection, right? Shield our kids from danger, from mistakes, from failure. But the new goal is all about preparation. It's about equipping them with the skills and the confidence to handle their own future. I had to realize my job is not to control their future. My job is to prepare them to handle it. And that simple shift changes absolutely everything. Preparation often starts not with what we do, but with what we stop doing. So number one, stop being a human Google. When your kid asks why, just turn it right back to them. That's a great question. What do you think? Let them build those thinking muscles. Two, stop rescuing them from every little struggle. Confidence isn't built in the rescue, it's built in the struggle. And three, stop saying things like, that's too hard. Instead, frame it as, you can learn how to do this. Our words literally shape their identity. And this brings us to a really, really important question. With schools struggling to keep up, where does this essential learning actually happen? The answer is our homes. Our homes are now the most important classrooms for building future-ready kids. not because we have all the answers, but because we are the ones who control the habits, the values, and the conversations that happen there every single day. And we can do this through simple, repeatable systems. It's not complicated. Carve out some time every week just for pure curiosity. Go down a rabbit hole together. Encourage them to build something, anything, every week to train their creativity. Make a question of the day, a habit at dinner to spark critical thinking. And when mistakes happen, focus on reflection, not punishment, to build that adaptability. And finally, use the teach back rule. If you learn something cool, you have to explain it to someone else. Teaching is the best way to really lock in new knowledge. So, beyond all the practical skills and the systems, what truly prepares our children for whatever is coming next is the armor they wear on the inside, the beliefs we instill in them that will guide them long after we're gone. This is it. This is the core promise we make to our children, that in a world full of intelligent machines, their true power, their real value, will always come from their humanity. If they know how to think for themselves, if they know how to learn anything they need to, and if they know how to truly care for other people, well, they'll have something that can never, ever be outsourced or automated. So the key takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. The future isn't some race against the machine we're destined to lose. It's about doubling down on what makes us human. The winners of tomorrow won't be the ones who can process data the fastest. They'll be the ones who can lead, who can create, and who can connect. AI is going to change the world. That's a given. But it's parents who shape the next generation. Not schools alone, not big tech companies, our homes. And that incredible, vital journey, well, it begins right now, with us.